Rewriting who people told me I was supposed to be, he said, voice steady now. From the projects to the boardroom, from Marcy to the Met. And all of it, can disappear in a headline if I don't speak. He paused. Then he looked toward the gallery. Some leaned forward, others sat still like statues. The judge didn't interrupt. No one did. Jay-Z continued, quieter now. I'm not here to protect myself from rumors. I'm here because silence protects monsters. And I won't be complicit. The prosecution nodded. The judge instructed the room to remain quiet. But it was too late. Reporters already scribbling, fingers already firing tweets into the ether. Then came the cross-examination. The defense attorney stood slowly. Measured, not aggressive, not hostile, strategic. Mr. Carter, thank you for your candor, the lawyer began. But let's be clear. You were there. You admit that. Jay-Z didn't flinch. I was there, not everywhere, but yes, I was at some events. The defense leaned in, and you benefited. Let's not forget, you and Mr. Combs had a long-standing business relationship. One that made you both billions, Jay-Z nodded. Money doesn't equal protection. You didn't report anything at the time? No, because I didn't have proof. I had a feeling, and feelings don't win court cases. But now you're here. Why now? Jay-Z stared directly at the lawyer. Because too many people stayed quiet, and silence turned into blood. Murmurs from the back. The judge rapped the gavel. Order. The defense tried a different angle. You said you never saw anything criminal. So are you here to testify about crimes or cleanse your own image? Jay-Z didn't blink. I'm here because I should have spoken sooner. The defense hesitated, and, for the first time in the trial, backpedaled. No further questions. Jay-Z stepped down from the stand. But before leaving, he turned toward the gallery, facing the victims who had come forward. His voice wasn't loud, but the room heard every word. To the women who had the courage to speak, I believe you. Cassie's attorney lowered her head. One of the jurors looked away, visibly shaken, and then he walked out. No music, no applause. Just the quiet footsteps of a man who understood that sometimes the truth costs more than silence, but buys back your soul. Outside, the crowd surged. Flashes popped like gunfire. Reporters screamed questions, but Jay-Z didn't stop. He got into the car. The door shut. Inside, silence. But outside, everything had changed, not because he saved anyone, but because he finally refused to help protect the ones who hurt them. Jay-Z sat upright on the witness stand, calm but resolute. This isn't just about me, he said. It's about building something clean, something that lifts our community. And how that can all be smeared with one headline backed by zero evidence. He mentioned Beyoncé, but not as a celebrity shield. He spoke of her as a mother, a woman blindsided by allegations she had no connection to. I came here to defend truth, he said plainly, and to make sure no one, not even a billionaire, gets away with burying people in lies. Jay-Z's voice stayed steady but sharpened as he addressed one of the most damning accusations. The infamous Miami party at Gloria and Emilio Estefan's mansion. The alleged scene of one of Diddy's so-called freak-offs. I want to be crystal clear, Jay-Z began. I have never, not once, been to a party at Gloria Estefan's house. Not in Miami, not anywhere. He unfolded a series of documents, a timeline detailing his movements that week, backed by security logs, travel manifests, and charity event programs. On the night in question, I was in Los Angeles, he stated, at a charity dinner hosted by the Sean Carter Foundation at the Peterson Automotive Museum. He held up a photo with the mayor, then a transcript of his speech, and the official guest list. Courtroom screens lit up with footage from the museum's security logs, showing Jay-Z's entrance and exit down to the minute. But the most powerful blow wasn't in the documents. It came from Jay-Z's breakdown of how the rumors spread. These lies didn't come from facts, he told the court. They came from patterns, from assumptions, from me once being seen at a brunch. And now I'm complicit in everything this man is accused of? He pointed to the power of vague accusations and social media. You don't need a lie to be loud. You just need it to be repeated. Jay-Z's legal team submitted a report showing how dozens of media outlets repeated the false claim. None of them contacted him for comment. Not one tried to verify. As the judge acknowledged the validity of the records, Jay-Z turned toward the prosecution. If you're going to drag someone into a trial this serious, you better have more than gossip and guesses. Then, the testimony took a surreal and darker turn. I've been called a lot of things in this business, Jay-Z said, but Illuminati puppet, master manipulator, murderer by association, that's new. He listed the internet theories. TikTok montages linking him to everyone from Harvey Weinstein to Jeffrey Epstein. He mentioned allegations that he orchestrated the deaths of Aaliyah, Michael Jackson, and Tupac, or paid people to stay quiet about Diddy's parties. Not one shred of evidence, but they keep getting repeated because it sells. Jay-Z then held up a printed Reddit thread filled with speculation about his inner circle with Beyoncé and Diddy. This, he said, shaking it slightly, is what passes for journalism now. He described how these conspiracy theories had affected his life. Business deals collapsing, family members followed, even death threats. And then he admitted something unexpected. Maybe I made it worse by staying silent, he said. I thought the truth would be obvious, but I underestimated how fast lies move when they're packaged with ominous music and slick editing. Jay-Z ended with a direct plea. I'm not asking you to like me. I'm asking you to listen, to think, to demand proof. Because if we don't draw the line here, none of us are safe from what comes next. The room was dead silent as he stepped back. But the calm didn't last. The lead prosecutor rose, known for dismantling celebrities with surgical precision. He adjusted his glasses and looked directly at Jay-Z. Mr. Carter, he said, you've denied ever attending a party at Gloria. Estefans, you've provided logs, timestamps, compelling stuff. Jay-Z nodded. Because it's the truth. The prosecutor paced. But you've admitted attending Diddy's events before. Brunches, award shows, fundraisers. Yes, Jay-Z said carefully. Public events, nothing resembling what's been described. Here. Did you ever witness anything inappropriate at those events? The prosecutor asked. Jay-Z paused, just long enough to feel the weight of the moment. No, he said. I saw celebrities networking, music, the usual. And Cassie Ventura? You never saw her in distress? Nothing strange? Jay-Z's jaw clenched. Cassie was around. She was Diddy's partner. But I never saw her harmed. And certainly never saw what she's now described. The prosecutor nodded slowly. So when you hear her claims, coercion, abuse, the so-called freak-offs, you're saying you're blindsided? I'm saying I didn't see it. And if I had, I wouldn't be sitting here as a witness. I'd be on trial. The prosecutor smirked. That's what Russell Simmons said, too. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Jay-Z blinked. His calm cracked. For just a split second. Objection, his attorney shouted. Sustained, the judge said sternly, but the damage was done. The insinuation lingered. The prosecutor tried to paint Jay-Z's proximity to Diddy as complicity. He floated the idea that Jay-Z had access, and maybe awareness. But there was no proof, just strategy. The jury watched closely, some skeptical, others sympathetic. Before stepping down, Jay-Z delivered a final message. I'm not here to protect. Diddy, I'm here to protect my name. He adjusted his suit and stepped off the stand. Beyoncé wasn't in the room, but her absence was louder than words. As Jay-Z exited through the side door, escorted by security, the courtroom buzzed to life. Whispers, gasps, frantic messages. The internet lit up instantly. Jay-Z breaks silence under oath. Jay-Z defends. Beyoncé and family. Jay-Z versus the prosecution. No one waited for the verdict. Opinions were already flying. But inside the courtroom, something more complicated was happening. The jury wasn't easy to read. Juror number 4, a middle-aged black woman in a beige pantsuit, scribbled furiously in her notepad. Juror number 9, a clean-cut young man, stared at the empty witness chair long after Jay-Z had left. An alternate juror chewed his pen cap, eyes narrowed. In the gallery, a former bad boy intern was sketched wiping tears from her eyes. He talked like he didn't know, she told a reporter. But we saw him at those events. Maybe he didn't see what we saw. Or maybe he just looked away. Cassie Ventura never flinched. But when Jay-Z's voice cracked while mentioning Blue Ivy, she looked up, not with sympathy, with a question. Was he protecting his family or himself? Even Diddy, stoic through most of the trial, began to twitch. He tapped his pen rapidly. Jay-Z's denials hit hard, not like betrayal, more like confirmation. The ship was sinking. Everyone was looking for lifeboats. The judge called a recess. Voices clashed in the hallway. Jay-Z came clean. What more do you want? He's part of it. He just put on a show. Back at Rock Nation, the mood was tense. No official statement followed. Just one quote from Jay-Z's lawyer. Mr. Carter testified truthfully and courageously. We stand by his integrity. But public opinion didn't wait. Within hours, every major outlet dissected the testimony. Some called it brave. Others called it calculated. Beyoncé trended globally for 36 hours. Her team stayed silent. Fans were split. Some defending her, others asking how deep the Diddy connection really went. The DA's office issued a vague statement. While Mr. Carter's testimony was significant, our investigation remains ongoing. Translation? This isn't over. And then came the wild card, 50 Cent, always watching. He posted a photo of Jay-Z on the stand with a caption, "Nice performance. But we ain't forget them brunches, my guy." It went viral instantly. Other celebs followed. Alicia Keys reposted a quote about truth cutting through silence. Questlove tweeted cryptic emojis. Oprah posted a vague story about rising from ashes, Jay-Z's. Testimony didn't end the storm, but it shifted the battlefield. In a case full of shocking twists, one truth had become clear. This trial wasn't just about Diddy. It was about an entire era of power, of silence, of plausible deniability. Jay-Z had survived the witness stand. Jay-Z didn't rise from his chair. He looked directly at the prosecutor, his voice steady and sharp. I didn't come here to protect a billionaire. I came here to protect the truth. The courtroom fell into a heavy, unnatural silence. Across from him stood the prosecutor, known only in whispers before this moment. A federal wolf in a tailored suit, someone who'd made careers tremble and pulled megastars from marble mansions into concrete cells. He adjusted his glasses, took a measured step forward and said, "Mr. Carter, you stated under oath that you've never attended a party at Gloria Estefan's home. You've provided security logs, guest lists, timestamps. Everything checks out." Jay-Z gave a slow nod. "Because it's the truth." The prosecutor raised an eyebrow. "Fair. But you have admitted to attending several events thrown by Mr. Combs, parties, brunches, galas, private dinners, correct?" Jay-Z replied calmly. "They were public events, networking, industry people, music. Nothing unusual, nothing illegal." The prosecutor stepped closer, tone tightening. "And Cassie Ventura? You saw her at these events?" Jay-Z's jaw tensed slightly. "Yes. She was present. I never witnessed her in distress or danger." The prosecutor tilted his head. "But you've heard her sworn testimony now about coercion, control, abuse, freak-offs, as she described them. And you're telling this court you were shocked?" A long pause. Jay-Z answered, voice low but certain. "Yes, I didn't know. And if I had even suspected, I wouldn't have remained silent. The prosecutor didn't blink. That's what Russell Simmons said. The courtroom gasped. A tremor passed through the benches. Jay-Z's face didn't flinch, but his lawyer immediately stood. Objection. Sustained, the judge said. But the seed had been planted. What if Jay-Z had seen something, or heard whispers, and chose to look away? The prosecutor paced slowly. Is it possible, Mr. Carter, that you did see things, or hear things, and simply stayed quiet, because you, too, were part of that system? Jay-Z met his gaze. This time, his words cut deeper. If I was part of it, or even knew about it, I wouldn't be on the witness stand. I'd be the one on trial. He straightened his jacket, eyes never leaving the prosecutor. And then he walked out of the courtroom. The room didn't breathe until the doors shut behind him. Some whispered, "He cleared his name. He brought the receipts." Others shook their heads. Too polished, too perfect. He's saving his image. Juror number 4, a black woman in her 50s, scribbled in her notebook without looking up. Juror number 9, a young man with a buzz cut, just stared at the empty stand where Jay-Z had been, like the ghost of his testimony still hovered there. In the gallery, a former intern from Bad Boy Records was seen wiping her tears. She told a reporter, "He spoke like he knew nothing. Maybe he didn't, or maybe he just chose not to see." Cassie Ventura sat still through the entire testimony. Not a single movement. Except once, when Jay-Z mentioned his daughter, Blue Ivy. His voice cracked just slightly. Cassie looked up. There was no anger in her eyes, no forgiveness either, only a question. Was he protecting his family, or just himself? Across the aisle, Diddy remained stoic, but his fingers were tapping a pen in a rapid staccato rhythm. Jay-Z's denial wasn't a betrayal, it was a sign. The ship's going down, and everyone's looking for their own lifeboat. The judge called for a recess. People flooded into the hallway, buzzing, analyzing, accusing, doubting. Some said Jay-Z spoke with honesty. Others whispered, "That kind of clean answer only comes with rehearsal." At Rock Nation headquarters, the lights were on late. His legal team issued a statement. Mr. Carter testified truthfully and with integrity. But the world doesn't. Read court documents. It watches TikToks, shares headlines. Beyoncé's name trended globally for 36 hours straight. Her team gave no comment. The public wasn't so quiet. Some fans said, "She's a queen. She has nothing to do with this." Others replied, "She was at those brunches too. Don't act like she didn't know." The DA's office remained tight-lipped, but their statement was chilling. This investigation extends beyond any one individual. Translation? It's not over. Then came 50 Cent. He posted a courtroom sketch of Jay-Z on Instagram with the caption, "Nice performance, but we ain't forgot them brunches, my guy." It exploded. Celebs started posting cryptic content. Alicia Keys reposted a vague quote about truth. Questlove posted only a string of wide-eyed emojis. Oprah, a quiet story that read, "From ashes, we build again." A marble silence fills the courtroom, the kind of silence that comes just before lightning strikes. Jay-Z, dressed in an immaculate black suit, remains seated at the witness stand. His eyes are locked on the prosecutor, unblinking, calm, controlled. But behind them, calculation. The prosecutor adjusts his tie, steps forward, and addresses the room, not just the witness. Prosecutor, measured. "Mr. Sean Carter, you're not just a billionaire, you're not just a cultural icon. You're a brand synonymous with luxury, loyalty, legacy." He takes a breath and lets the weight of those words settle. Prosecutor, sharper. "And yet today you're just a man, under oath." Jay-Z slowly nods, his voice low but clear. "You claim you never attended Gloria Estefan's infamous Miami parties. You deny ever seeing anything questionable, inappropriate, or criminal at any gathering hosted by Mr. Sean Combs? I deny seeing anything that crossed a legal or moral line. The prosecutor steps in closer. The air tightens. Cassie Ventura describes events that border on the grotesque: control, exploitation, coercion. He walks slowly, deliberately. She says women were flown in, phones taken, contracts signed, and when it was all over, silence, bought and enforced. The room is motionless. Are you saying, in all your years around these people, you saw nothing? Jay-Z leans forward, hands folded. His words are deliberate. I've been to Diddy's parties. Yes. But what happened behind closed doors? I wasn't behind them. A beat. The prosecutor tilts his head. Isn't it convenient how often you weren't looking? The judge raises an eyebrow. Jay-Z responds, colder now. I don't move through the world looking to uncover sins. If something was done in the dark, it was kept there. The prosecutor's tone turns cutting. Or perhaps the music was just too loud to hear the screams, gasps, ripple through the room. Jay-Z stiffens but doesn't break. He glances at the jury. You're looking for a monster. I get it. But I'm not your villain. And I'm not your cover story either, prosecutor. You mean to say you're not protecting Diddy? I'm protecting the truth, nothing more. Another pause. The prosecutor steps back, nods to the judge, and says, no further questions, for now. Int, courtroom, lateras. Jay-Z steps down, eyes follow him like he's walking through fire. He doesn't look left or right, just forward, in the eye. Gallery, a woman whispers to her friend. He said all the right things. Exactly. Too right. On the internet, the clips go viral within hours. A meme circulates showing Jay-Z sipping from a champagne glass, captioned, When the feds ask if you saw anything illegal, int. Rossi Nation. Night Jay-Z sits alone in a sleek, glass-walled office.